Where's the Kansas State guy?
You assholes better not cut me. I'm still on this team. Hey, somebody bring me a Diet Coke.
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma, where
we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. See, there it was. I kind of garbled up eligibility again. But
I'm not going to hold it against you.
But remember, we do have our, whatever you're listening to us on, follow us, subscribe. Also, go check out our Thursday night YouTube videos that come out, Thursday night videos.
Thursday night at Louis.
Thursday night at Louis. And they come out late Thursday night, and you can watch them all day Friday and throughout the week. It's a fun time that we have there. And you're also welcome to come out there anytime and join us.
It'd be pretty cool to have some guests out there. I'm not gonna lie.
And
both fans.
Yep. Check out tailgateconnect.com and start making your plans to join us in California.
Woo!
At the
California trip
at the Sooner tailgate that Dan Donnelly, the tailgate ninja, is putting on for all the Sooner fans coming out there. So that'll be a good time.
No one can beg him for a job, though, because that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So we do have a fan on tonight that'll be coming on a little bit later. Nathan signed up, wanted to talk a little bit of Sooner football, and I think he has a bone to pick with you too, Rob.
I have to go.
So he heard your rant the other day about baseball players making too much money.
Yeah.
What's the guy that got the
Mike Trout.
I think
Bryce Hart. No, it was Trout. It was Trout.
I think he disagreed with you on
a
few things. So we'll probably talk a little bit of baseball. But this podcast comes out Thursday nights, or really Friday morning is when we really publish it. The Oklahoma Sooner fan base is freaking out right now. Because the spring game has been changed, moved a day earlier, and it is a prime time Friday night event.
7:30, 7:45 kick.
Yep, 7:30. The concert is at 6:30. Everything else has been canceled, correct?
Pretty much.
And I get it. I know a lot of people are upset because they made travel plans.
Bought tickets.
Conway, our buddy from Arizona, he couldn't come in until Friday night. So now he's pretty much screwed. There's a lot of people down in Dallas. Twitter's kind of blowing up right now about being upset. But here's the deal. I'll be honest with you, Rob. We're working on something with Louis. It may be just a gathering after the game for a couple of hours, which would be cool too. Not as a formal event, but we're waiting on a call back from Louis to see what we can do afterwards, because they did have an event planned after us on Friday night. So we're working on something that may be just a meet and greet. Everybody just 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock when I would get ready to go down to the spring game. If it was raining like it's supposed to be. Not just rain. It's supposed to be,
it's
going
to be getting with it all day. It's all day.
All day.
Yeah.
And 44 degrees. Guess where I'd have been watching the spring game?
Right here.
Right where you're sitting at, Rob.
For sure you would be.
And, it's just, if it was, Oklahoma regular season, yeah, I would probably, weather the storm. But for the spring game, it's a practice. And Sooner fans, we still need to show up. It's still a big deal. All the recruits are coming in. It's still an event, but it had to be moved. We don't need their team out there playing in a pouring down rain storm, 44 degrees, and get guys hurt or anything else. So,
I agree. And you know what? It's not like it's going to be warm. I mean, it's still going to be under 60 degrees.
Yeah.
So
55 to 60, I think is what they're calling for, something like that.
Yeah, if you're roaming around though out there before game time, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock out there, it's probably going to be 60. But they said at kickoff it's like 59. So.
Yeah. So
I mean that's not warm, but it's not.
No, it's not 44 degrees and pouring down rain.
It's definitely bearable to me.
So they moved it. I think primarily for to get the game in. I mean, watching it, I was actually concerned. Watching the weather as it progressed this week, I was thinking, man, they're going to cancel this spring game. If it's pouring down rain, they are not going to have this spring game. And then I even had thoughts, they're going to practice it, in the indoor facility and have the fans go to Lloyd Noble and show it on the big screens or something.
Well, I found out this morning, and I kind of messed with y'all, Dave.
Yeah, I still owe you a kick in the nads for that.
It was kind of fun for me, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, Rob says, "Uh-oh, big deal coming." And it took me a second, and I responded, and Rob wouldn't, he's tight-lipped about it. I was like, I knew it had to do with the weather. I knew something was going on.
Couldn't reveal until
it was
decided,
and I mean, there's not going to be as many people there, and I'm wondering, I don't want to start.
Well, no, wait. Not as many people as there would have been on Saturday, or not as many people as last year.
Probably both.
You don't think there's going to be as many people there on Friday night as you'd think there would have been on Saturday?
Yes, because I'm already seeing stuff on Twitter that people down in Dallas that would have drove up Saturday or were driving up Friday night, they can't get here before 7:30.
Okay, but those people that won't come out of their house when it's under 50 degrees, okay, it's going to be 43 and rain.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but you said, I mean, it's not going to be nearly the crowd that I still, even if it was on a Saturday and it was nice, there's people that, strictly cannot make it now. Maybe some people are able to leave work early and get there.
Put in for a vacation day. Oh, that is gone. Off the wall.
We are watching the Oklahoma baseball game on TV as we speak. Dude, okay, you need to go over to the new store, Rob.
Right. So I don't, I try not to say anything negative, but they are proud
of those.
They are proud of their inventory there at the Fanatic store. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. I have got to find me a pinstripe OU baseball jersey.
Dude. I was in there, and I know they got some, but I just can't remember if they're pinstripe.
Yeah. I know they have some. I've seen them, but I don't know if they're pinstripe. Anyway, but
I'll be there.
Rob will be there.
I will not be in the crowd, though.
But it's, I think if they'd, I think this is about as much time as they could give everybody. So there may be those who could now, like you said, call in, take a vacation day, call in with the sniffles, just don't tweet that you're at the game that night, or
I think I'm
Facebook post it. So, but it's very interesting that, like I said, the fans I know are upset, but I mean, and rightfully so, but we don't need to play. They're not going to play a spring game in the pouring rain.
Well, it's just not good for the athlete. It's not good for the fans. And really, I mean, I know that the spring game is a tool that they use to kind of evaluate talent.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also showing off in front of the recruits that'll be there. And, it's to give the fans just a little taste and keep everybody in there. So, I mean, I don't blame them at all for doing that.
I think we're lucky that it didn't get canceled altogether. But I was wondering, I'm sure that the ticket office is getting flooded that now they can't come. Do they, are they going to give refunds to those, and which a lot of people think that the spring game should be free anyway. But
well, I wish they would have just pushed it a week. That would have been okay with me. Push it to next Saturday.
But recruiting, they can't do that. I mean, these guys have already got all the plan. And Texas's spring game is next week. So a lot of the guys that are going to be committing this week at Oklahoma will be going down there just to get wined and dined to tell them we ain't coming here. So
I hope it's all of them too.
Yeah. So, But interesting, like I said, we will watch on Facebook and Twitter. We'll let you know what we're going to be doing. It's obviously not going to be the Friday night spring game pregame event that we were hoping for and planning on, but there may be a Friday night spring game postgame event there. That nothing big, just everybody that wants to come down. And
unless you guys hang out till after midnight, I probably won't make it.
Yeah, if I'm out there after midnight, the lovely Teresa will probably be upset, or she will leave.
And then you'll be upset.
she'll leave, and I'll have to Uber, or when you get off work, I'll have to text you, Rob, can you take me home?
What you mean to say is you want to sleep in my spare bedroom.
But anyway, there is another thing I wanted to talk about before we get Nathan on the podcast is instant replay, and we'll talk to Nathan to get his vision on this. The Final Four games and the national championship game have just been riddled with missed calls, a double dribble missed call, the fouls, this and this and this. Goes all the way back to the previous week, and then all the way back to the playoff game with the Saints. And the NFL has changed their rules. I think you can throw you can ask for it on a pass interference call. You can throw your flag, something like that. I know that they changed the rules a little bit, but how much, Rob, in each sport, how much instant replay is too much instant replay?
I think, Terry, just my personal opinion, obviously, I think any is too much. Would you really want them, with today's technology, to review the Immaculate Conception, interception,
reception,
drop? What was it now? Immaculate drop?
No, it was a touchdown.
I'm pretty sure he scooped that off.
No. There was it would have still been, because there was not conclusive evidence.
But you understand what I'm saying? Would you have wanted them to do that?
I know. I mean, I like instant replay on certain instances, okay?
When it benefits your team, or
yeah, of course. No, but I mean, I think it has a place, but I think people are oh my God, look at, okay, there is a human element to all sports. Okay. I heard them talking on the radio about the double dribble the other night in the Tech game, and it was Michigan State player, I think double dribbled or something like that. Well, whichever game it was. I don't pay attention to college, but I just heard people talking about it. But anyway, the guy said, well, if you go back 10 steps before that, they missed the foul call. They were trying to foul the guy that double dribbled, so the double dribble. And if you go and look at every play in basketball, somebody's grabbing a jersey off the ball.
Sure they are.
Somebody's throwing an elbow, and the referees let them play. So where do you look at every play now and go, oh, well, look, you can't do that. Same way with football. Football, there's holding on every play.
Every play.
There's offensive line holding, there's D-backs holding. It happens. It has since the beginning of time of these sports.
Sure, for sure.
And I think there's a place for it, but I think that fans are getting, and the media is getting too, in depth on, well, we got to have instant replay. I like it to some extent in baseball, but I still think it should be less in baseball than any other sport. I do not like that they've talked about that little square strike zone. Mm-hmm. Apparently they have a way
that a computer can
generate, can say that that's a ball and strike. No, but, balls and strikes are judgment calls. I don't think that every play at a base, like a stolen base or a first base play, but I think the manager should, kind of like they do in football. You get 2 challenges or a game that you can challenge a play, but you can't. Bad calls, bad judgment calls are going to be a part of sports from now, and you can't take that out of it. When you do, we're falling into what Caleb and Rhett and Casey are doing. They're watching other people's video games. I mean, really, that's what is happening.
Yeah, like I say, I'm just not a fan of it at all. You either review them all or you don't review any of them.
Right.
Kind of a deal for me. And I know that there's probably some instances that I would be okay with it, but you're slowing down the game. Just take it out.
Yeah. Well, you can't. To me, you can't challenge or video or get it on anything like a foul. Or like the double dribble that happened. It was a double dribble. The refs miss it. You can't go, oh, wait a minute, we want that. Complete and incomplete passes, yes. Hey, you can, but all the leagues need to have a well-defined what's a complete pass and an incomplete pass. But you can't start calling penalties and fouls on using instant replay.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, honestly, every league, NBA, NFL, college, all of them, MLB, they should say, listen, umps, you need to pull back the flags.
Yeah.
All right? When Harden's out there flopping like a fish, just let him flop. There's no foul.
Yeah.
Unless you're bleeding, it's not a foul, especially on Harden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I wish they would pull back, the refs, do not cost, like they cost, in my opinion, New Orleans a game.
Yeah.
But that was a no call, right?
Yeah, it was a no call.
So that's the way it should be.
Yeah, it was a no call. But see, that's my point is, that's what people are calling for instant replay on things that should have been a penalty. No. You do that, you're taking the human element out. Now, Hey, I don't mind did he get his toes down? Did he get 1 foot down? Did he get 2 feet down? That's not as much of a judgment call because that's more of a, spin and look, and you're looking at the whole thing, but when you start saying we need to instant replay penalties and fouls, you're going too far with it.
Yeah, I'm out. Just pull instant replay on everything, and I'm pretty sure I'd be happier with that than I would what's going on now.
Yeah. So, and plus it gives us something to gripe about.
Yeah.
It gives us something to moan and groan about. So,
well, I mean, it has cost teams and it has helped teams.
Right.
For instance, when receiver McDrops from OSU played at Dallas Cowboys, that was obviously a catch, right?
Yeah.
Y'all know what's his name? The guy from OSU that played at Dallas.
I know. Dallas Cowboys are your team. I don't know. I can't.
Whatever his name was. Yeah. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, everybody knows who you're talking
about. The most overrated receiver in the NFL ever. Well, I mean, he caught that pass.
Right.
But he dropped everything else. But that pass he caught, and it was ruled a non-catch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did it cost Dallas that game? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because Dallas sucks. But but you know what? If New Orleans gets that call in the playoffs, they win that game.
Yeah.
They may go on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, you know. And now the evil empire won another one, right?
I mean, it's a never-ending cycle. When it the one that tears me up and makes me madder than anything else is when a coach in NFL will throw a challenge flag on a spot of the ball. I mean, no, we think he was a half yard further. I mean, come on,
I mean, if it's the difference of turning the ball over on fourth down, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's not.
Yeah, most of the time it's not. It's like, but something to think about, guys out there. Whether, and that was, this morning on Sports Talk, there was a lot of talk this morning about, fouls that should have been called. And
really?
If there was instant replay, if there was that, there was this. I mean, too much instant replay is killing our sports. And
that, and you can't touch anybody. You can't touch a quarterback at all.
Right.
In the pros, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I understand they make a whole lot of money. Well, don't pay them so much money.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, imagine great quarterbacks like Johnny Unitas, Joe Namath, Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach. I mean, if those guys had the rules now, they would still be playing.
Terry might be for sure. Terry Bradshaw, he's still a hoss.
Yeah, I mean, but those guys got just hammered all of the time. I mean, the goal was to rip their heads off, you know, and now, like I said, you're right. You run up and you breathe on them wrong.
Well,
and
don't get me wrong. Some of those guys that played back then, they cannot walk now because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, maybe we're just going to too much extreme one way or the other kind of a deal.
But maybe they should just put one of those little spinning ball passers back there, and a guy just feeds it. You know.
Hey, you remember when we were kids? All-time quarterback.
Yep.
Just have one guy plays both ways.
And then nobody could claim anybody was cheating.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, well, you ready to get Nathan on and talk a little bit of Sooner football? Get Nathan's thoughts on the spring game. All right, Sooner fans, as promised, I said he was from the wrong city. He is from Owasso. We got Nathan Mangrum on the phone with us. Boomer, Nathan.
Boomer, guys.
How's it going?
It's going good.
So, sorry about the Midwest City mix-up. I told her, but
no big deal.
You're a Ram, not a Bomber. In other words,
right?
I
mean, if you want to be technical, I'm a Trojan and then a Ram. So.
Who are you?
Jinx.
Jinx?
Yeah, I'm originally from Jinx and then moved to Owasso.
Oh, okay. So, how is Jinx and Union handling not winning a state championship and after 75,000 years of winning every one of them?
Honestly, I think they were actually pretty happy that BA won it the way that they did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hats off to those guys.
Yeah, Broken Arrow's been creeping up there for the last couple of years, just couldn't get it done. They finally did.
So does that just mean they're all cheating? Am I wrong?
that Broken Arrow got more money? No, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, I heard they moved parents in.
They've definitely got more people than everybody.
Yeah.
They've got more on the team, so.
So you're getting the west side of the state, harassment on this, is that's what everybody out in this part of the state believes, is that, Union and Jinx and now Broken Arrow are starting to recruit and move people in.
I've been hearing them stories for years.
I'll be honest with you. Do you guys remember Kewan Jones?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he originally grew up in Owasso. And right around the time he started playing high school football, he ended up going to Jinx.
And let me guess,
I'm not saying that
his
they
parents
didn't
got jobs.
Yeah, they were talking about Kewan Jones today on the radio. They were just talking about heartbreaking moments as a fan, and one of them was the pass from Jason White to him in the
just out of the backfield.
Out of the backfield in the LSU title game.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So close.
Dang it. Yep.
Oh, but
you know what? He was a pretty special athlete.
Yeah, he was a good player. Yeah. He was really good. So
he's super nice too. Super nice.
Yeah. So. Well, before we get into too much Sooner talk, I wanna get the gloves on and the headgears on for you two.
Sounds good.
Rob. On a podcast when Trout got his
I have made my
$600 billion contract or however much it was. He's making like something like $100,000 a second. I mean, during a baseball game.
That
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's making like $100,000 every foul ball.
But Rob went on his little rant, and I'm telling you, Nathan, that if you sat in here in the podcast palace with us, Rob usually puts his feet up on the coffee table like he is now.
Uh-huh.
He's kicked back, relaxed. About every 5 minutes or so, he gets his phone up. You might hear him holler at the TV if they're watching a good game or something. Rob, when he started talking about his salary, Rob's feet hit the ground. He sat up. His eyes got big.
Well, I mean, seriously, you cannot buy a Mike Trout jersey for less than $1,000 or something, and a hat, an Angels hat or whatever, for
And Rob blamed hot dogs and everything, and Nathan next day on Twitter after he listened to it, he was he got on it. So I'm just going to let you guys discuss.
Okay.
And I'm kind of on your side. I mean,
who?
On Nathan's. I'm kind of on both of them.
You can't be on the fence.
I've had people say, paying athletes that much is, I worked hard in my life. Why is why is he making more money? Well, you should have worked harder playing baseball. That's how I get it. But I think sometimes it's too much. So, Nathan, you got the floor, and then Rob and you can discuss salaries.
All right.
Go.
I mean, mainly it's just the fact that, he's literally the best baseball player that we've seen in years, the most consistent baseball player that we've seen in years. 2009, something like that. And the whole time his batting average has never been below 350. I mean, he's got hitting, he can hit, he can field. I mean, and Bryce Harper peeved me off when he got it because he's one person that's been so hot and cold that didn't deserve that type of money. They got him for his haircut. That's what it was.
Listen, I'm not arguing about if Mike Trout's the best player in baseball right now, because he definitely is. My argument is that his salary is so high to go to an Angels game, a ticket's like $235. Now, how many people, I got 3 sons. If I want to take all 3 of my sons to a game, now I'm looking at, $1,000 just to get in the door. That's ridiculous.
Well, see, that's why you buy Rangers tickets, because they don't have anybody that great.
Okay, all right. It's kind of like being an OSU fan, right? Season tickets for $50. Yay, all right.
My wife and I are going down in September for the Red Sox series down there, and we paid for both of us to get a seat right on the third baseline, right around $180.
Yeah. We're going down next month, right?
Yeah.
We're going down to watch the Cardinal series down there.
Surely are.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Box seats behind third.
Box seats behind third. So, we went down 2 years ago. We didn't make the trip last year. We go down and try to. I'm not a Rangers fan. I'm a Cardinals fan. So, but I'll watch baseball. To me, baseball, and I don't care who it is, I'll sit and watch a baseball game in a baseball park with anybody playing.
Oh, yeah. And you know what?
My wife it's an anniversary present, so she hates baseball. She's not a huge sports person at all, but she got that for me for our wedding anniversary, so I was like,
wow.
Well, I was like, that works. If you want to be miserable on our anniversary, by all means.
She redeemed herself. Yeah. Okay, all right.
She didn't the better of it would have been, here's your anniversary present, honey. You and your best friend go watch a game, and she'd not even go. Wouldn't that be better?
That did come up.
Probably not on your anniversary, but any other time of the year maybe.
It's a daytime game on our anniversary, so I think if I take my best friend with me, she might might say something about it.
Yeah.
So.
We're doing the trip down there. Me and Caleb and Rob and one of Rob's boys or somebody, I don't know who, and hopefully catch the Friday. It's an afternoon game and the Saturday game, and then.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they've given us tickets for the weekend or. See, Nathan, we didn't have to buy these tickets, so I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
they were given to us.
So we don't know.
If I could get them free, I would totally take them up on that.
Yeah, we don't know. We know we got Friday night, but we're not sure about Saturday. But I mean, Caleb was talking about what is it, Texas? There's something down there now. I can't think of what it's called. Texas Live between the ballpark and AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, apparently it's a big video board.
Yeah, they got a huge video board. There's restaurants. They're all bars and restaurants right there.
Oh, we might rather do that.
Yeah. Saturday, we might just go do that. Caleb, he showed us pictures. He went to it after the OU, after the Big 12 title game and said it is amazing. It's not.
Wow.
It's not. It's somewhere to go hang out, and they got a huge video board outdoors.
I was down there in 2015, and that wasn't there.
Yeah, they were building it. I know last year when me and my wife went to the NFL draft, and they were building it, but they completed it, and Caleb said it's a pretty cool place. So we may go do that on Saturday, and instead of going to the game. Yeah, but
the weekend we were down there was the opening week of the season, so we were driving down to Texas for the baseball game while we were watching us lose to Houston. So that was not a fun drive down. Not to mention we got pulled over in Texas.
No, of course.
So yeah.
So let's talk a little bit of Sooner football. Did the news that hit at about 5:30 today screw your plans up for this weekend at all? That the spring game has been moved up a day?
It did not. My wife's birthday is this weekend, so
she wasn't going to let you take her to the spring game for her birthday?
No. I tried every way I could. I told her, I was like, the game's probably going to be early. I can go down and then be back. I can go to dinner that night. Well, now my grandma's birthday is Friday night, so now I definitely won't be sneaking down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. I know people are upset because they made plans, and some people getting up here on Friday night now. But I get it. What about, it's supposed to be 40 degrees and raining all day Saturday.
Right. I mean, Friday night is still going to be kind of chilly, I think.
Yeah, but we don't want to be
about the rain.
We don't want to be playing a spring game. It's a practice, okay? It's a scrimmage is what it is.
Right.
And, they don't need to be out there in 40-degree pouring down rain. If it was like that on a Thursday afternoon practice, they would be in the indoor facility.
Yeah. Well, 59-60, I mean, that's what, when I was playing football, 59-60, I was in heaven.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, it'd be nice if we could get today's weather out there is what would have been great.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so far the last 2 years we've been cursed with spring football weather.
Well, and you know that our first two home games this year are back-to-back in the dead heat. So.
Yeah.
Right. Because we got Houston and UCLA, or no?
It's
to UCLA this year.
South Dakota.
South Dakota,
yeah,
that's what it is.
South Dakota. And so I'm guessing that'll be the pay-per-view to kick off the season.
We might need to look into that South Dakota team. They're not bad.
Yeah. But no, but I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it kind of, we had our event planned for Friday night, and my wife has been on the phone with Louis trying to figure out something. But see, they had an event coming up at 10 o'clock on Friday night, so I don't know. I don't know what it may just end up being just a meet and greet. Just, hey, come on over and,
right,
sit down, have a drink, eat some food, and because everybody's going to be in a rush to get there by 7:30, so there's not going to be any pregame stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Or by 6:30 if you got tickets to the concert. So,
have they said how many people are roughly attending this year? Have you guys heard? Or
well, we
were close to about 50,000 last year, right?
Yeah, but did you come last year?
No,
There were a lot of people left. There were a lot of people that bought tickets and left after the Bob Stoop statue deal because it was miserable.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah,
it was.
I had a couple of guys from work went down and they said that they left by the halftime.
Yeah, so. There were people that I know personally that said, we saw Bob's statue unveiled and we left.
Hightailed it out.
We got out of there. It was too cold. People with kids. They left because it wasn't just cold. The wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour, and
it was raining too, wasn't it?
It had rained that morning. I think it spit rained and rained that morning, and spit rained during the game. But it wasn't anything like what they were talking about. Going to happen this Saturday.
Okay.
But no, but I mean, it makes sense. I know it ruins everybody's plans.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had, I think a lot of people had big plans made for the weekend, making a weekend trip. The spring sells off. So
I wonder if that means
is this going to affect any of the recruits coming in, do you think?
No.
Like a bunch of guys, do you think they'll all be here by Friday? Or?
Yeah. I think I was listening to the radio, and I think everybody was supposed to be here Friday anyway. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think everybody
Friday morning.
Yeah, and they'll just spend Saturday whining and dining them all day long.
Well, I can tell you this: the meeting where they decided to change the time today, was a 2.5 hour meeting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they knew there were going to be repercussions and that people were going to be upset, but for folks like us who live here in Norman, it's not a big deal,
Right.
And I said before, honestly, if at 12 o'clock on Saturday, if it was 40 degrees and pouring down rain, my happy butt would have probably been sitting here in the podcast palace watching the spring game. It's
going to be on TV this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on TV, and it's on the radio. So,
do they usually put it on? Is it like Fox Sports Southwest?
Yeah, it's like
I
think the Sooner Network broadcasts it to them, and I think last year Dusty Dvorak did the TV call. He was the analyst, and it'll be on TV still. But
okay, yeah, I'll try to pull it up and record it and try to watch it today. Then
yeah, but I mean, because now a regular game. Yeah, I would go sit in 40-degree weather with a poncho, but to watch them practice, people can say, well, you're not that big of a fan. No, I am a big fan. I just I'm old, and I like being comfortable. So,
well, you don't have to wait in line to go to the bathroom or get a drink. You
right.
Just go and do it and not be miserable standing in line.
Yeah.
So.
And you can also scratch yourself at home. You don't want to do that in public. I mean,
that's a good point, Rob.
Saying it,
you get an itch, you can scratch it. You don't have to worry about it. So, but I think all the recruits, it hasn't affected the recruiting. I think there's supposed to be 22 guys coming in.
I don't know, but there's a lot of those. They get brand new Tahoes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them in the front of the stadium. I was like, man, there's a bunch of kids there.
Yeah, they I guess, cart the families around in the brand new Tahoes from Landers. Isn't that who it is? Landers?
Yeah, I think it's Landers.
Yeah, Landers Chevrolet. They cart them around in Tahoes. So there's a whole bunch of them. You didn't count them, Rob?
No.
No.
No, when I was pulling into the stadium, you're just going by.
Yeah.
So you see them all parked out there. So,
but Rob's, as everybody knows, Rob works at the stadium. He's going to have fun Friday night.
Oh boy. That'll be a 16-hour day probably for me.
They're not giving you Friday day off to
no. Come in at noon or something. No.
Yeah. So, what did you? What are you thinking about what's going on at Oklahoma with Jalen Hurts, with the defense?
Well, the thing that's annoying me is they're trying to push the quarterback battle again.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I listened to. Who is it? Not Trammell or Jim Traber today. I was listening to Jim Traber, and they were saying that there is an actual quarterback battle brewing down there between Mordecai and Jalen. But we all know Tanner Mordecai has been able to sling the football since he's stepped on campus.
Right.
But I think Jalen obviously brings a leadership role and then a completely different element with his legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think I think it's more coach speak than actual battle again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of said it, on our YouTube video, we kind of did a little tongue-in-cheek why we want Tanner Mordecai to be the quarterback. Okay. And a lot of people kind of took it serious and put these long little dissertations out about what Jalen Hurts has done. I was like, okay, the point we're making is that if Tanner Mordecai can beat out Jalen Hurts, why wouldn't you want him as your quarterback?
No,
I don't think it's going to happen, but
right. If he does, I will honestly be shocked.
Yeah.
And then,
But on the other end of it, I'm still Spencer Rattler hasn't hit the campus yet. And
no, he hasn't.
And that kid, did you see his video a couple of weeks ago on that he put out on Twitter? That boy has beefed up since Christmas.
He is at 200, and he put out one today. He's at 205 pounds, and he showed him he's just launching the football downfield.
Yeah, and because he was one of the things we always had talked about was he's kind of skinny, but he's
legit now.
He's put it on.
He's looking like a college kid now.
Yeah, and this is the number one quarterback coming out of high school, the number one recruit in my, number one quarterback. Right. That if you don't think he has the competitive mode to come in May, and my understanding was that he's been able to watch tape.
Was he able to get a playbook?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God!
Oh, something happened in the baseball. He
hit him right in the head, knocked his helmet off.
Oh,
wow! Man, that's two people. He's done it.
Hold on, I got to watch the replay.
Oh my gosh! Dong! Oh, it looked like it hit him in the face.
No, it got him in the bill. It was one of the Texas Southern players.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks Rob for the.
Sorry.
But this kid, I don't know if he's got a play, but I think he can. They were talking about it that he can do like webinars. He can be involved with them. With the team, he just can't practice and do other things.
So he can stand on and watch.
Yeah, he can watch.
Okay.
And if you don't think he's been paying attention to what's going on with Jalen and Mordecai,
he probably knows the playbook by now too.
Yeah, and
probably.
I know that his quarterback coach that he's worked with for years, I bet you he's got the playbook too, or at least some of it.
Well, let me say this. Yeah. If a true freshman comes in, and let's include Tanner Mordecai in this, if either one of those guys beats out a fifth-year senior, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
And somebody
for sure.
And it's nothing against, because Tua is he's a special athlete. He's a special player. And
we can't look past what happened in Clemson.
Right.
True freshman came in and
won
their
job
starter out of the water. So,
right. And Tua slowly creeped into the starting position, but on the other end, Jalen Hurts is going, that ain't happening again. I don't care I don't care who you are. So, I don't know if there's a battle going on maybe between Mordecai and him. Maybe they're pushing, but I think they're expecting a quarterback battle moving forward
to brew over the summer.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I mean,
yeah,
he needs that. He don't need to sit there and go, "Hey, I'm the starter and I don't have to prove it." He needs to prove it every day.
Yeah,
I think.
Right, for sure.
But, I've said it. Tanner Mordecai may not be the quarterback that Jalen Hurts or anybody else are, dual threat quarterback coming out of high school.
Yeah.
If you didn't think Lincoln, brought him here he didn't bring him in here to back up people. He may have had, hey, this is going to be our back, but he wants those guys that are going to push. He's good enough to push the other quarterbacks, I think.
Well, I don't think Lincoln goes after anybody he doesn't think can't play and come in and help the university.
Right.
Especially a quarterback.
Right.
So, and if, for all we know, Mordecai is the starter, or, if Jalen does start and struggles with deep passes, then, who's to say that he won't pull him,
Yeah.
And
well, I've seen too that people that have been
go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
People that have been watching practices and stuff say the deep ball is not a big a problem as what people thought. So,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still amazed that Caleb called it at the end of the SEC championship game that Jalen Hurts was going to be transferring to Oklahoma. So, but
has he predicted anything yet for this year?
No, not yet. Yeah, but he does that every now and then, and he was proud when he came. But No, but I mean, on the other end, we've got 3 wide receivers that are probably going to be, on the field, freshmen this year.
Was it? Are they saying Theo Weiss has actually been the guy that's been showing out in practice? I couldn't remember if it was Theo. Okay, it was Theo.
Yeah, it's Theo. And, of course, Hazelwood is just a big.
He's a specimen.
Yeah, big receiver.
Well, watching the Army game, he, went up and just honey dipped somebody and took the ball right out of their arm. So,
yeah. I mean, he and those 3 guys, are going. I guarantee you, they walked on campus. I can't think of the other one's name now, off the top of my head. Geez, sorry guys, but anyway, those 3 wide receivers walked on campus with the expectation of playing, of earning a spot. Because I met Theo Weiss, and I've said this before. I'm not going to share what he said. But I was like, dang, when he talked to me, when he introduced himself, I was like, man alive. And I mean, cocky, but not cocky. You know what I mean? Just
confident.
Yeah, this is who I am.
Well, it ain't going to take, it's not going to be easy for them guys to get on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, because first CD Lamb is going to.
CD is going to be the.
But there are guys, what's it, Rambo kid?
Yeah.
And the kid from Norman, what's his name? I forgot it already.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying though. Those guys, they were the elite of this class, the elite receivers, and those guys are coming in. They're working hard not to to get on that field. So, when you're the best athletes like these guys are, competition doesn't scare you. You just walk out there and go, I'm going to come and take my spot. So,
well, and CD Lamb looks really intimidating this year.
Yeah.
he's Coach Wiley did something to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got to do, almost forgot. I looked over there. I was like, why is Rob holding the bucket? It's time for Sooner Bucket of Questions. So,
sounds good.
For those of you first time listening, Sooner Bucket of Question is a Sooner bucket filled with questions about who knows what. It may be Sooner related. It may be movies. It may be life. It may be food. Just so everybody can kind of get to know Nathan a little bit better. So, Rob, are you ready?
I am ready. Drum roll, please. Not really. All right, these are just pulled at random. So let's see. What did you get in trouble? Let's see. What did you get into the most trouble for with your parents as a kid?
Uh-oh.
Have I asked this one
before? I was in front of our church. I was meeting with family in front of our church, and I picked up a rock. And the church happened to have really nice, what do you call those windows? Pane?
Stained glass?
Stained glass windows on the front of the door. And I'd been skipping rocks out at the lake, so I thought I could skip a rock on concrete. And I skipped the rock right into the top of that window.
Oof.
And shattered the whole thing. And I think my butt looked like a zebra for about 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. What about you, Rob? What's the...
Man, didn't we ask this?
No, this was more like when you were a kid, not when you were in high school.
I didn't get in any trouble when I was a kid.
Oh, you are lying.
What about you?
Well, I think probably the most trouble I got into, I was playing with my sister, and she had one of those little horses that were on wheels, that you run. She was about 2 years old, and I had a rope on it, and I was pulling her around. We had a big living room and a den, and I was pulling her around in the living room, and we had a big piano at the end of it, at the end of the living room, and when I went to turn...
You ran her into that piano?
Head first.
You big meanie. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, the rope came off, so she didn't turn, and she went head first. The horsey goes underneath the keyboard, and her forehead hits where the keyboards are at, and the piano goes boom, and she had, I mean, just this giant knot on her head for about a month.
What a meanie.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, Nathan, number 2. How old were you
Uh-oh.
when you found out Santa Claus wasn't real?
Do what now?
How old were you when you found out Santa Claus was not real?
Oh, I honestly don't even remember. I think I just kind of figured it out.
You were today old?
Today old.
I would say we'll go with probably about 11. I'd say probably around 11.
Yeah. It's kind of weird when you figured it out, though, isn't it? It's kind of like, wait a minute.
Well, I was an only child, so, I mean, for me, it was, I'm getting stuff either way, so.
and all that you wanted, too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I
didn't care if it came from mom or big guy in a red suit.
By the way, spoiler alert to those of you that are, friends of Santa or whatever.
Don't let your kids listen to this. Probably should have said that before.
Okay, question number 3. What does it say? Let's see. What makes you say, what was I thinking when you look back on your life?
Man, you got some kind of deep ones, didn't you?
I know. It's random. I just pulled them random, I promise.
It was a hell of a ride. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay, Rob, find a good one. Find a good one. Yeah, right. He randomly read a couple of them and let's give him a good one. Those we're only supposed to have like one serious one with a. Come on, all right, we got to fill space, Nathan.
All right.
So
who did Ronnie Sunshine Bass replace as quarterback in Remember the Titans?
Who did Ronnie Bass replace?
Yeah, who did he replace as quarterback?
The Rev.
The Rev. All right, bonus points for knowing his name.
Yeah. What was his real name?
Or his movie name? I don't care.
Yeah. Let's go movie name.
His movie name was...
The only line that is coming to mind is, "Why don't you tell your boys to block for Rev better?" So Rev is the only one I can think of right now.
Jerry Harris was his name.
Jerry Rev Harris
in the movie.
Huh.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see there. That one's a little bit better.
Little better.
Is that what's your favorite sports movie? Is Remember the Titans up there or?
Remember the Titans is up there, but it's probably going to be Field of Dreams.
That's a great movie.
If you build it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love that too. But, I'm a big baseball fan, and especially a history baseball fan. So.
A sports movie, it's Field of Dreams, but football movie, I'm going to have to say Friday Night Lights.
Really? I wasn't a big Friday Night Lights fan. I think Billy Bob Thornton and the quarterback that played, the guy that played it, I just think they just didn't cast them right. Billy Bob Thornton, to me, didn't play a football coach real well.
Huh.
No.
And it's kind of like was Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday.
You wasn't buying Al Pacino?
Yeah, Al Pacino was terrible in that movie.
But, some biscuits and mustard. Yeah. That's his best line right there.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton just didn't come off as a football coach to me. So, like I'm with kind of like what Rob said. I'm maybe it's the sling blade aspect of it. That and the fact that that's right. It was the kid that played his. That was the problem. The kid in Sling Blade was the quarterback in Friday Night Lights.
Well, there's why they lost the state championship.
Yeah, exactly. To Dallas Carter. That team though. Dallas Carter had some great teams back in the 90s and 80s.
Oh, have you watched their special or their show on Netflix?
I think I watched part of it. I don't think I saw all of it.
What's it called?
Okay. You what, Ron?
What's it called?
I want to say it's called Carter High.
Huh.
I think I did. I know I started it. I can't remember.
I'm going to have to check that out. Because Dallas Carter and Dallas Skyline, man, they play major high school football.
there's some big old boys down there.
You ain't not kidding.
So, so Nathan, what else are you paying attention to with the Sooners defense or
mainly it's defense? With Caleb Kelly, going out, I've been kind of concerned about who they're going to put there. They're going to put John Michael Terry, Levi Draper, or is White going to hop over there and put him on? Because Caleb Kelly was playing the will, right?
Yeah.
Because I know they're trying to have Murray and White on the field at the same time this year, but I'm just curious as to which linebacker is going to fill that spot with, because Caleb Kelly has some serious athleticism, and
Well, now is he not going to be I know that they said he was out an extended period of time, but is he not going to be back before the season, or is he?
From what I heard, is he tore his ACL.
Yeah. So
probably a season ender.
You what, Rob?
It's probably a season ender.
Yeah, Rodney Anderson's still not 100% yet.
Yeah.
So if it's anything like the tear that he had, then it could be, start of the season next year before we even see him.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the defense to me, is I don't know. I'm no football genius. I'm a fan. I watch it as a fan, but the defense to me is just like throwing, jacks, playing jacks right now. It is like, who knows, because the defense for 2 years hasn't done anything good or great.
Right.
So how are you going to fix something with the stuff that's still there that hasn't been able to be fixed for,
Well, and they're not really moving anybody around in positions. That's one of the questions or things that's still been irking me, is they've still got Buki playing nickel.
Yeah.
And the kid's a corner. Like, he is a cornerback.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, he's 5'8".
Right, yeah.
You put what's that big old boy from Texas with the dumb name that came out for the receiver?
Little Jordan, L.J. Humphrey.
Yeah, little Jordan Humphrey. That dude's what, 6'6", 6'7"? And I've heard people say, well, Buki's a cover corner. There's no way he can cover that kid.
He's not covering him.
That's, I think, Buki, I think that's his problem at corner is you put him out there with a 6'2" receiver. I know he's a 5-star. I know how, that he was a swarm cover guy, but man,
he's gonna have to prove it, just like Kyler did. He's just gonna have to prove it. But if I catch him, if I'm the coach and I catch him covering my 6'2", 6'3" wide out, I'm throwing that high ball all day long on him.
Well, and I felt bad because last time I talked to you guys, I'd hyped him up, and I was so excited about Buki.
Oh, everybody was, and
and kind of a letdown, but I guess you had to do what we had to work with,
but
as best we could with what we had.
Yeah, but I think they feel like that position is better for him, but I think because of his athleticism and he tackled okay, he didn't wrap up, but a lot of people were like, that's not his spot. He's never played before, and I got thinking, we had Rufus Alexander on the podcast last year. Rufus never played linebacker a day in his life before he came to Oklahoma. He was a rush in.
Right.
And
then became an All-American.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
So, a little bit.
So I say this about Buki. Last year was his freshman year. Let's give him another year. Give him some slack.
No, I'm not gonna write him off. I just, most of these kids that are here, I just want the best for them.
Yeah.
Now that won't tell me that, I'm still going to scream at the TV whenever they screw up.
You do that too? Rob, I thought we were the only ones.
Oh, no.
So.
My wife thinks I'm insane when I do it. She's, like, they can't hear you. It's like, well, maybe I need to get louder.
It doesn't matter.
Can you hear me? Then I've accomplished my goal.
Well, see, it's funny, when me and my wife early on, I've always been a big OU and Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and she had seen me in big games, okay, but when Pittsburgh played Dallas in the Super Bowl, that Dallas finally beat them in a Super Bowl. When Neil O'Donnell threw that interception, the first interception, maybe it was the second one, and our kids were all little, I jumped up on the coffee table. Okay. And she was like, "Oh my God, settle down. What is wrong?" And I'm like, "It's the Super Bowl." And she was freaked out that I was that wired up for a game. And I was like, that was the first really, really, really big game other than OU Texas that she had seen me get.
So do you still holler like that at the Steelers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Pro is different. The pro, I'm comfortable watching. I just kick back and watch a pro game. Okay, but that's why when it gets towards the end and you need to win games to get into the playoffs and in the playoffs, that's when I become a nutbag. Unlike college, where every game,
Yeah, every game for me, every college game is. I don't sit down. My wife thinks I'm crazy because I kind of pace back and forth in our living room. She's like, "You're making me nervous." I was like, "Well, they're making me nervous."
Yeah.
So,
Get on my level.
Yeah. Well, I think you probably heard Rob, we were watching the Alabama game, and Rob and Casey, his son, flat out just walked out of the house. Rob was like, "I can't watch this here. I can't do this. I can't do it." And of course we were down 28-0, and I think Rob was afraid he was going to punch somebody or.
Well, I try not to act a fool in front of a whole lot of people, just like Terry, maybe. But
well, see, I was at home up until halftime of that game, and then got asked if I'd come out to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch it. Well, I think I went with the most unenthusiastic Sooner people I've seen in my life. Everybody's there wearing a Sooner jersey right as we start to mount our comeback. And, Kyler, I think, scampered for a big touchdown run. And I yell "Boomer." I hear one girl behind me go, "Sooner." Just like, take your jerseys off, take your shirts off, get out of the bar.
Get out.
Yeah. Yeah, because, as bad as it looked at the beginning, it didn't end up, the way it looked like it was going to end up. I mean.
No.
The problem was we knew our defense was never going to stop them. So,
Right.
But the one, I was actually thinking about it today, this morning while I was drinking coffee. I don't know why, but I remember all the posts and all the stuff about what Nick Saban said after the OU game, and he said it to the ESPN guy. Not Herb Street though. The guy that kind of runs the show. Can't think of his name now, but Chris Fowler.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Chris Fowler
went to school at Colorado.
Yeah, but he told Fowler that was the toughest offense he ever prepared for, and Chris Fowler said that, and said it on more than one occasion. And of course, Sooner fans were like, "Hey, we're coming up. We're going to, if we can get our defense." And well, apparently Nick had never seen the Clemson offense.
Apparently not.
Because the Clemson offense tore him up.
So they tore him up. I would have, as bad as it sounds, I want, our revenge for the Russell Athletic Bowl.
Yeah.
But I don't think we would have got close to it this year.
No.
It was last year.
No. And
you never know.
Yeah. They could have had a bus crash or
Hey, that's what they said about the Sugar Bowl when they played Alabama.
Yeah. But Alabama, remember, Rob, they weren't into that game.
Right.
So. But
they didn't win, so they didn't really want to play football.
Right. But see, the thing is, though, it's like we said before, our defense has not been nearly close enough to the level of our offense to stop anybody of significant power. They can for a little bit. They did with Georgia, but our offense can never play from behind because our defense hasn't ever been able to stop anybody. So
right, they're see what did was it Coach Riley, or it might have been one of you guys that said it, that we want a defense that complements our offense.
Right. You don't, and even that's even what Grinch said is.
You know what? I think there's about 1.5 million people that have said that. I'm just saying.
But we're going to claim that we started it. So
okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But I mean, seriously, you think about it. To me, you could build a great defense around this offense because you don't have to be great.
You have to be perfect.
Right. We just got to stop people 3 or 4 times in a game, and our offense is just going to rout you.
Well,
but I'm not okay with that.
If we can get back, and not even top 20, if we can get back to just a top 40 or defense, we're going to outscore everybody.
Yeah.
With, top 40 gives us 3 or 4 stops, and if Grinch's math is right and we're getting turnovers hand over foot, then, this.
11,
I don't think it'll be this year.
11 turnovers last year. 11 interceptions.
Right.
Top 40
or
the last
turnovers.
2 years in a row gives us 2 national titles.
Right. Yeah. Top 40 defense. Oh, I'm getting depressed now, guys.
Oh, sorry.
But here's one thing. Here's something we never talk about, Rob. And I think we're going to get to let you talk about it because I have no idea. Who's our kicker going to be?
Oh, crap. They literally, I listened to another podcast, and they actually disclosed who it was going to be. We are going back. We are going to have a punter and a kicker.
Right, a punter and a kicker.
Right. It's not going to be Austin Seibert for everything anymore.
Yeah. And it seems like Austin Seibert's been here for like 12 years, but
He's been here a couple of
and
years.
I'm perfectly, before him we had Tress Way, and that kid was amazing too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We've actually had a couple of pretty good kickers.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to think their names. We've got one kid that's just like a power kicker, I guess, and he's going to be have the field goal duties.
No, we'll have to look that up. I mean, it's because you really, I mean, for one thing, with Seibert was so effective on kickoffs. They rarely got to bring it out. Where they were always starting on the 25, and that's a huge advantage.
I believe it is.
And,
because I remember several years ago that was our Achilles heel was the special teams play.
Yeah, we didn't have a kicker who could kick it inside the 10 on kickoffs, but and he was he was a great field goal kicker. But that's something I think that we need to be concerned
Tighten
about
up a little bit.
Yeah, because and I can't find my roster. I'm sitting here looking for my roster, and I can't find it. So, but
I agree with what Caleb says. I hate the game coming down to a college kicker.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, for all we know, this kid is all of a sudden going to shank it.
Yeah. Yeah, or he just looked up in the stands and saw his girlfriend kissing another guy.
I'm sure it happens to all of them.
Or looked over and saw the Texas Tech bell ringer.
I mean, it's there's just so much that can go awry with it, but the field goal, we've had some really solid field goal kickers here that, like you said, we don't want it to come down to it, but when they went out there, Seibert, usually when he went out there, made the kick.
You know what's funny about that, though, Terry? All those kickers, we don't know a single one of them's 40 time.
No. And, but back in the day, if you didn't have a kicker, I mean, there was plenty of schools that had like open tryouts. I mean, I know Texas Tech a couple of years ago.
We had it here.
Yeah. Hey, if you played, and we had it here while Stoops was here, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah. Hey, come out and try. If you kicked in high school,
Water boy came out.
Yeah, but but a lot of schools used to do that. They didn't, if most of the kickers walked on and
didn't recruit them.
Yeah, they didn't recruit them. It was just like, hey, if you want to come here, and if you do and you earn the spot, you get a scholarship. So,
did they though?
I don't know. Oh. I think Uwe had a scholarship when he kicked that. If he didn't, when he kicked that field goal against Ohio State, he did.
Okay.
No, I mean, but yeah, I'm interested to see what we're going to do with the kicker out there.
They did name both punter and kicker this week.
Which
I can't think of either one of the names.
Yeah, but that'll be a part of that's something I think that we're all focused on Jalen, and that's as Lincoln calls it, all three sides of the ball. Well,
right.
That's the third side of the ball. That's a big question mark.
And as bad as it sounds, I honestly don't care to know the punter's name. If we never have to punt, I'm happy.
Well, there's that
good point.
There's a high school coach somewhere that has never punted.
Wow.
Goes
for it on fourth every
time. Goes
on
fourth down every time, no matter where he's at, and is successful. And there was some type of deal on like either ESPN or Brian Gumbel's sports show that he has on HBO, Real Sports. And he just said, mathematically, your chances of making it are better. Doesn't matter where you're at. It's if it's 4th and 6, your chances on getting a 4th and 6 are the same amount as getting a first down on 2nd and 6. So,
right.
But they don't ever kick the ball, and he's pretty successful. So, that I don't know of many college, and it does irritate me when it's like 4th and a yard, and even if you're on your own 25, you don't think your offense can get a yard.
Sometimes.
Well, if you second guessed this offensive line any minute last year, then what were you doing? Is my question.
It irritates me as a fan of Oklahoma and the Steelers, any of them. It's like, I understand. If you don't make it, you've given up all that deal. But you know what? You should be able to get a 4th and 1. You should have something in your playbook that is going to get 3 yards. I don't care what defense they throw against you.
Well, this year all we got to do is nobody's lined up over Creed Humphrey's head. Just let Jalen Hurts fall forward.
Just get a yard.
I think we're going to have. I think I heard that we have or are going to have the biggest offensive line in the country this year.
They're enormous.
They're giants, man. Where is that? Rob, talk. I'm going to pull out a sheet of paper.
Yeah, we talked about these linemen last week in our.
I thought you guys did.
Yeah, and we got some giant guys. There's some 6'9", 6'7", 6'8" guys, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll start. But the rest of them, we only had 2 or 3 that were 6'3", I think, and then everybody else was at least 6'5".
I think Creed's the smallest one, right?
No, Creed's 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5". He's a big boy.
325. But we have Adrian Ely. He's 6'6", 326-pound redshirt sophomore. Bray Walker, 6'6", 336-pound redshirt freshman.
And he was the number 1 offensive lineman last year.
Yeah, and then
in high school.
Daryl Simpson. 6'7", 340-pound redshirt freshman, and David Swaby, 6'9", 313 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then Creed is 6'5", 325. Michael Thompson, who I think is going to be playing, 6'5", 329. Marquise Hayes.
Did they get their own bus?
Do what?
I said, do they get their own bus?
Their own row. They get their own row on the bus.
Finley Phoenix is 6'5", 311. Dalton Bishop, 6'5", 295. Eric Swinson, 6'5", 320. Bryce Roberts, 6'4", 287. Ian McIver, 6'3".
6'3". We need to send him home.
Yeah, 324.
Tiny.
Clayton Wood, 6'2", 296, and
there's a little one.
Yeah, Tyrese Robinson, 6'3", 326. So, Clayton Wood needs to get in at the dinner table and
needs a couple sandwiches.
But and on the other thing is, Coach B, Beatonbow has put 6 guys in the NFL in the last 2 years. I mean,
right.
you got 4 guys going in the draft this year, and you had 2 last year on offensive line.
These are actually Beatonbow's recruits, aren't they?
Yep.
These guys, this group of guys is.
Yeah.
So they should be pretty nasty, considering that's what he likes. So.
Well, like I was saying, Bray Walker 2 years ago, right? Because he redshirted last year.
Yeah.
Was the number 1 offensive lineman in the nation.
Yeah. And
wow.
and I think David Swaby is the Jamaican. Or is it Jamaican or Bahamas? One of those.
Bahamian.
The Bahamas. He's from the Bahamas.
Bahamian. Mm-hmm.
Is that Bahamian?
Bahamian. Mm-hmm.
Or is it Bohemian?
I don't know.
Are we talking about the Queen song or the nationality? but yeah, you got 2. You got 2 redshirt freshmen and 2 redshirt sophomores that are that are 6'6" or taller. That's ridiculous.
Wow,
they're big.
That's
they're
insane.
Big boys.
And if let's just say those 4 guys are it. I didn't put their Beatonbow's going to move you around anyway. They could do that, and Creed Humphrey is suddenly the smallest man on the offensive line.
That's 6'5", 329, smallest guy.
And he's probably the meanest too.
Yeah, that kid. I mean,
listen, I see him every day. He just looks like he would kill you. Some people are just like pleasant looking. He's like, I will kill you. And he might be smiling. So I'm just saying, I don't think I'd want to mess with him.
Oh, Rob. I'm sure that's that's something his parents are proud of. My son looks like he will stab you if you...
No, he won't do it that way. He'll just grab you like by the face and just squeeze you. I don't know.
But he's not that big, Rob. Come on.
Yeah, he is too.
I mean,
he's a big boy.
Yeah, but I mean, these guys. I mean, and that's the thing with Beatonbow, just like with Lincoln. I don't have any concerns with what they're doing. I know that they got what they want, where they want, and that they're going to put it together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Same way with the whole offensive side of the ball. But the 2 important factors in that is Beatonbow and Lincoln Riley.
Yep.
That side of the ball is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we got a better defensive coaching staff than what we've had in the last several years. But it's whether or not they can put pieces together this year, next year. I'm still leaning towards 3 years before we're going to see really drastic.
I'm leaning 3 years myself.
So that means we got 2 more years of the same thing we've had the last 2 years.
I hope not.
But hey, that puts us in line that we should be ready to beat the tar out of Nebraska. So,
yeah. So that's another thing. Oklahoma's playing Alabama.
Yeah,
home and home in 2032 and 33.
Yeah, and my son should be. I think he'll be 14 or 15. So. I think we'll definitely be making a trip out there for that.
How old will you be?
I will be 40.
Jeez.
I'll be in my 40s.
Do you want to push me and Rob around in our wheelchairs to go to those games?
Well, hey, by then they'll probably just have you guys floating around on something.
Yeah. Just weird.
Or they give you guys your own section at the stadium.
There you go. I mean,
come on.
Bring us in on the schooner and take us to our seats. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird.
You just heard me hush. My dogs just went crazy. My wife just got home. So, and my son's asleep. So that.
But yeah, it's just weird that they're scheduling games in the 2030s, and we're not even in the 2020s yet. So,
right.
But
when they scheduled the Nebraska home and home series, like that's so far off, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, it's a couple years away
3
now.
Years.
Yeah. So,
I'm excited for that Nebraska game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one game I will be. I think that'll try to bring my son down for his first game for the OU Nebraska game.
See, I'm on the fence, and not on the fence. I'm on the side of the ball of this one that they should have done with Nebraska what they did with Texas for years before Texas was the Big 12. They should have kept Nebraska as a home and away non-conference game every year, and it would still be it was one of the greatest rivalries in football.
Yep.
And one of the most respectable rivalries, because people from Nebraska liked people from Oklahoma, and people from Oklahoma liked people from Nebraska.
Good fans. They had good fans. Yeah. You know what?
I mean, doesn't Notre Dame play Michigan or Ohio State every year?
I think Michigan they play every year.
Right. So there's no reason why we couldn't get a.
Well, but on the other end of that, Notre Dame plays, Air Force.
Nobody.
Yeah. Sister Mary of the Poor. And stuff like that. I mean, they're, but no, it was a rivalry that the Huskers and the Sooners should have made happen.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
But,
well,
sad to.
While you're digging that up, Terry, I want to just mention the rest of the Sooner Nation that, the gymnastics teams, they're both probably going to win national titles. The men have not been defeated in 4 years.
4 years. That's crazy.
Isn't that sick, nasty? Plus the softball team, Patty Gasso's got them rolling.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, they've lost 2 games this year, I think.
Yeah.
32-2 or something.
Well, and then Oklahoma, on their men's gymnastics team, they got a guy who's never lost an event.
Never lost an event.
Wow.
Yeah.
In college.
That's
and he's
pretty
a senior.
impressive.
That's insane.
And then now Skip Johnson's got the baseball team rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty good all the way around the board.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how our soccer team's doing, but
how about tennis, Rob? Do we have a swim team?
Hey, listen, tennis won a national title not last year, but the year before.
Yeah, I remember you talked about you saw their rings.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. Every time I go into the tennis center, the chick that's in there, she's got that. It's black. The ring is black, but I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah,
I may have to go by there and tweet a picture of that thing out for you.
So yeah,
because
I'll have to go look it up.
It's like black onyx with red rubies and stuff in it. Yeah, it's really cool.
So you were fixing to say something, Nathan, and Rob cut you off.
Sorry.
Well, hopefully me and one of my really good friends they're having the Oklahoma OSU Bedlam series down here in Tulsa. So I think we're going to go down and try and catch that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's that time for Sooner, not a Sooner. Rob, are you ready?
I am ready.
Nathan, are you ready? Now
I am.
You know the rules. It's either a Sooner who is taken in the NFL draft, or it's not a Sooner. See, simple, and you get extra credit if you know.
Not that we're keeping score.
Yeah, not that we're keeping score. But you get extra credit if it's not a Sooner. You know who they are. Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I am.
Okay. Andre Krim, Sooner, not a Sooner?
I'm going to say not a Sooner.
Do you know who Andre Krim is? You are correct. He is not a Sooner.
I can't think of his name. I want to say he was in Any Given Sunday.
No, it was Necessary Roughness and Sinbad. Okay. Sinbad is the guy who played him in Necessary Roughness, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go and watch that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
Speaking of kickers, they have the greatest kicker ever on that.
Welcome to football. Welcome to
football.
Yeah, you got to go watch that.
Yeah, you got to go watch that.
Best kicker in the world.
Necessary Roughness, and then tweet us out what you thought about their kicker. Okay.
Will do.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Chris Chester, Sooner, not a Sooner.
Got it.
I'm going to say Sooner.
Very good.
Very good. 2006, he's picked in the second round.
He was a tight end when he got here. Moved him into the interior.
Yeah. Who was he drafted by? Either one of y'all know?
Chris Chester.
Detroit?
Nope.
Cleveland?
No. Okay.
Nope. The Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
The Baltimore Ravens. Let's see here. Jordan Phillips, Sooner, not a Sooner?
Sooner.
For sure he was a Sooner.
For sure he was a Sooner. Second round pick in 2015 to... Who did he go to?
Cincinnati.
Rob?
Since you didn't say I'm going to go with Oakland.
Nope.
Oh, dang it.
Miami Dolphins.
That's my next guess.
Okay. Danny Bateman, Sooner, not a Sooner?
Not a Sooner.
Not a Sooner.
Not a Sooner. Who was Danny Bateman?
I'm not sure.
He was the linebacker for the Washington Sentinels and the replacements.
The replacements.
John
Favreau.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, see?
Hey,
Okay.
right.
That was when John Favreau, because he was in Rudy, and he was fat and pudgy. And then he played Rocky and got in shape and played this, and now John Favreau is fat and pudgy again. So
I still don't know who it is, but
you don't know who John Favreau is?
No, who is it?
He's the guy doing all the new Disney movies.
Yeah, and he also
that didn't help.
What's Iron Man's name?
Happy. He plays Happy in Iron Man.
Happy on Iron Man. His assistant.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man.
That's
John Favreau.
Okay, cool.
I want to say he's a security guard, but does Iron Man really need a security guard?
Yeah, bodyguard,
right?
Lawyer, something like that. I mean,
yeah,
and he's in the Spider-Man movies too. So
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Carl McAdams, Sooner, not a Sooner?
Not a Sooner.
Rob?
Sooner.
Carl McAdams was...
Cornerback, 1976.
Nope. No, way off.
Yeah, I didn't have any confidence in that at all.
He was a first-round pick. He was the 8th overall pick in 1966 to the St. Louis Cardinals. He's a Super Bowl champion, and my dad got to know him late 70s and stuff when we were boxing. He worked with the state with some boxing stuff.
Listen,
big dude, but he was a linebacker.
Listen, I was only 10 years off. I think I deserve partial credit.
No, we don't do partial credit, Rob. Come on. Jiminy Christmas.
Right.
Oh, let's see here. Who do we got? Scott Case. Sooner, not a Sooner?
Say Scott Case.
Yep.
Not a Sooner.
Sooner.
Okay, Rob, throw your dates out there.
Cornerback, 1980.
1984. Second round pick.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish. 1984. Was he cornerback, though?
Yes, he was.
Ooh,
yes, he was.
I knew it.
But yeah, he was a hoss back in his day. Let's see here. Rudy Zoltek. Sooner, not a Sooner?
He's definitely not a Sooner.
He's not a Sooner? You were confident on that one.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
Okay, who was Rudy Zoltek?
He was played for the Little Giants of Urbana.
Yeah, Urbania Little Giants.
Urbania.
He was the big kid that would do the "you rang," wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
Rudy.
so.
Yeah. Rob has never seen Little Giants. Can you believe that?
That's an out. You got Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Al Bundy playing the coach.
Yeah. And he was a jerk in that movie, too, at the beginning.
He was in that Married with Children.
Married with Children, he was awesome.
Well, I agree. But still a jerk.
Yeah, Married with Children was a role that, okay, for guys our age, Nathan, it was, we wish we could say those things to our wives. You always wanted, and when you did it, you were always followed up with, I was joking, honey, I was joking, right, immediately.
You can say it.
But anyway, well, you did pretty good on the Sooner, not a Sooner. So You're celebrating the mom's birthday on Friday night, so no spring game.
Grandma's.
And then the wife's birthday
on Sunday.
On Sunday. So you got to take her out on
What'd
Saturday.
You get her?
She doesn't listen. She doesn't listen to our podcast.
No, but she got home and is in the room right next door, so I can't say.
Oh, you can't say.
Okay.
See, what you should do is get her a set of golf clubs because you want to spend more time with her. And so
she'd kill me.
Hey, this is coming from experience. Do not buy her a vacuum. All right? Just a little helpful advice there. Don't do it.
Dude, I actually know a guy who bought his wife golf clubs because she complained that he played golf too much and didn't spend enough time with her. So he bought her golf clubs for like their anniversary. And he goes, "This is so you can spend more time with us. We can spend more time together." Oh, she was mad.
Isn't there a song out there like, she told me if I went fishing, she wasn't going to be there?
Yeah.
I'm going to miss her?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he bought his wife a set of golf clubs, and she was not happy about it.
If I got my wife a fishing pole, she'd just be happy. So, I mean.
Oh, does she like to fish?
Well, there you go.
She loves to fish.
Well, see, that's not bad. No, but there's an idea. Or buy her a fishing boat. See, that's an even better idea.
Dual purpose.
Yeah. So what do you think you're going to see out of the Friday night spring game? Anything exciting?
Nothing. I bet we might see first string out for maybe 2 or 3 plays, and I bet that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything crazy to come out of it.
It's a good answer because you're not going to get anything.
Yeah,
they're not going to show us anything. That's okay. We know. We know.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see the physicality of the one-on-one matchups because that's what I'll watch. I'll watch the offensive line because it don't matter who you are. If you're on the offensive defensive line, you're going to punch somebody in the face.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to win that spot. You're trying to show you're more physical.
Yep.
But as far as the running backs and receivers, we're not going to see anything out of them.
Well, what we are going to see out of those guys is they're going to try and showcase their speed.
Yeah.
So those new guys, they're going to be out there trying to turn the Jets on, I think.
Yeah.
So that'll be good to see.
I'm all for it, but every time a running back takes the ball, I'm going to be holding my breath.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because it was Sermon that got hurt last year, and as soon as Sermon, I mean, when he was walking off the field, Anderson walked off with him. They sent him to the. They sent both of those guys to the locker room.
I don't want to see any of them get hurt or CeeDee Lamb get hurt or any of those guys. So
but
hopefully they go about 90%, and then when the ball's in the air, they back it back down to about 30.
Yeah. But I because the offensive line and the defensive line are going to be. They're going to be going 100%. That's a trench war all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where, because if this defensive line can mess up in this new single gap defense, even though we got a it's going to be a brand new offensive line out there because Creed's not playing. That's going to worry me. If this defensive line can get penetration and do things, it's going to worry me on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, and I am curious to see how much this defense is going to move pre-snap. But that's the big thing. I want to see how much movement we're going to see between the linemen, linebackers, and safeties.
Yeah, because I know I watched the video. Washington State, they in the games they did a lot of shifting. Back and forth. The defensive line did. They, shift back, forth. One guy shift, the other guy didn't. So I know that it's predicated on confusing the offensive line first and then the quarterback. Because if you confuse that offensive line, make them miss calls and miss assignments, that's when you're going to be able to get back there.
Yep.
Yep.
My only thing in the Big 12, especially, but it seems to me that a better way, way to defend that would just be go on a quick snap, just walk up and stomp your foot and go.
Yeah.
Then you got defense on its heels. But I know it worked for him at Washington State, so You know,
I just want to see it better. I don't care, just better.
Good input there, Rob. Appreciate it.
Yep. Very insightful.
Oh, but Nathan, is there anything else, man, that you want to bring up or talk about?
No, I think that's it, guys.
Yeah, Rob, what about you? Anything else you want to drop out?
Got it.
What was the final score in the baseball game?
8-2. No, 10-2.
10-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't see the score, but I knew we were winning. So, but anyway, Sooner fans, I know it was a shock today, and everybody's still going to be on edge tomorrow about the spring game getting moved. But think about it; it makes sense. There's just going to be like what Rob said earlier: call in sick, take a PDO, take a vacation day, start coughing right now, start preparing for it, and just don't go to work on Friday.
You can do what my employees do. They call in and they tell you a 30-minute story about how sick they are.
Yeah.
So it's true.
Yeah.
No.
What Nathan, are you in a supervisory role?
No.
Okay. Well, don't do it, because when you do, Rob's not kidding. That's what happens, and
the shorter, the better.
Yeah, just tell me you're sick. I'm running a fever. I'm not going to come in. Don't tell me, that.
Well, you can just the biggest one, the best one to use is you're having some anal leakage.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I have had people call me and say basically that. I'm like, I don't want to know that. Just call in and say, hey, I'm running a fever, I'm not feeling good. I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with, but there are people that would call in, that you're just like, no, stop talking now, please stop. I don't want to know. I don't want to know this. But anyway. But that's a podcast, okay, Rob? You good with that?
All right. Yep.
But everybody, we thank you for listening. And Nathan, thanks for being on. And we'll see you guys next time. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Nathan.
Boomer.
LT, welcome. Bobby Boucher. Come on, Bobby.
Thank you, Mr. Longshade.
Tell me, what is your secret? How do you find yourself in the right position all the time?
That's a good question. What happens is the center has the ball first, and quarterback will say hike. That's when the center puts the ball into the hands of the quarterback. So what I'll do is I'll start tackling the quarterback unless he give the ball to somebody else, in which case I'll try to tackle that person.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.